to present teacher-directed instruction using interactive technologies featuring educator Lynn Reedy. A little bit of background on Lynn. Lynn is an instructional technology specialist in the Stafford School District in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. She's been an educator for the past 18 years and started as a middle school math teacher before her love of helping teachers and students use technology in the classroom became her passion. Lynn is a Mimeo Master, a Mimeo Certified Trainer, and a Mimeo Course Moderator, providing both online and face-to-face trainings for K-12 educators. Now, before I turn it over to Lynn, I'd like to cover some quick housekeeping information. Each of you should have a sidebar over there to the left of the presentation window. Throughout today's presentation, feel free to use the chat window in the sidebar to ask any questions that you might have. We definitely want to address those questions. We will address those questions the best we can at the end of the presentation in a Q&A session. So please ask away and keep Lynn honest. So shortly after the webinar, we will be sending out an email to all registrants that will contain a link to the recording. We are recording this session. The presentation will also remain available on demand, so you can just sit back, put your feet up, and watch at your leisure. So now it is my extreme pleasure to welcome Lynn Reedy. Lynn?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our session, Teacher-Directed Instruction Using Interactive Technologies. Thank you for the introduction, Travis, and I'm super excited to be here this morning and to share with you my love for Mimeo and what we do in our district and utilizing all these products together so you can see how this all fits in together into one seamless integration. So the Mimeo classroom is a better way to learn. In our district, we do a lot of collaborative learning, real-time formative assessment, teacher-directed instruction, and adaptive instruction. As you can see, all this lends itself to the Mimeo products. So in a collaborative learning environment, my students or my teachers might be up in the front of the classroom, possibly utilizing the Mimeo projector, utilizing mobile devices. We also have both the Mimeo View document camera and the Mimeo Vote for real-time formative assessment, also integrating our mobile devices as well, and adaptive instruction with the Mimeo reading program. So I'm going to be sharing with you all of our different Mimeo products today. So we are going to spotlight these various products, and we're going to start off with our Mimeo Teach. Our Mimeo Teach, we're fortunate in our district to have all these products. We're also fortunate in our district to have a ceiling-mounted projector in every classroom and a Mimeo Teach bar in every classroom. So how we work this is we don't need any additional boards. We just took our wall or an existing whiteboard, and we can mount this Mimeo Teach bar, which is magnetic, right to that board. It's also easy to move to different classrooms. So our teachers, when they first got started, they were able to take these Mimeo Teach bars, take them off of the wall, take them into the computer lab, and continue instruction in there. So this is the Mimeo Teach. And the Mimeo Projector, brand new product, and I'm so excited to share this with you. If you don't have a classroom projector, you can use this short throw projector, have students come up in front of the room. As you integrate this from a non-interactive model, you can integrate it to either a single pen or dual pen operation, which actually allows two students to simultaneously interact with the same projected image. So that really enhances that collaboration in our learning with our students. Super excited to use this. It's a fantastic product. And we're going to move along to our Mimeo Pad. The Mimeo Pad allows you to control your interactive whiteboard from anywhere in the classroom. So as a teacher, I don't have to be the sage on stage. I can walk around the classroom. I can pass this off to groups of students. I can also integrate these additionally to various students for student groups. I don't need to just have one. I can integrate more into my classroom. And the Mimeo Pad has now integrated the new products, which are Mimeo Mobile and Collaborate. So if you don't have whiteboards in your district, the Mimeo board is a full-featured interactive whiteboard which actually has the Mimeo Teach bar on the side of it. But the nice feature with this is you're able to remove that Teach bar so you can take it to another classroom if possible and turn that classroom into interactive whiteboard in minutes. And all of our products and what I'm showing you today is utilizing the Mimeo Studio notebook software. So this notebook software contains the notebook product, which all of our tools, and I'll be demonstrating some of those tools to you today. It also contains a quite extensive gallery and a grade book to be utilized with the MimioVote system. So teachers can easily create and present classroom lessons, and in our district, we actually have students create presentations utilizing the Mimio Studio software instead of using PowerPoint or other products. So Studio is really the conduit for the utilization of all the Mimio products, just a seamless fit all together. Now I can't wait to tell you about the Mimio Mobile and to be sharing with you today our new Mimio Mobile app. So this is a single license for a teacher's classroom computer. It will allow every student with a mobile device to be interacting with a lesson that's displayed on the interactive whiteboard, again using Mimio Studio software. The Mimio mobile app lets multiple students simultaneously contribute to the learning environment. So teachers just put up a simple link to the app on their Mimio Studio classroom software. Students scan that code, and several devices can be used together. So you can also integrate multiple devices into Mimio Mobile. So you can include iPads, iPad minis. You can also include the MimioPad wireless pen tablet and the MimioVote assessment. And I'll be showing you all of this throughout our presentation this morning. And the MimioVote is a student assessment system that can either be teacher-led or can contain self-pacing tests. Students, we have the option of having 24 or 32 handsets. And again, you can also integrate that Mimio mobile app, so those can be used as MimioVotes as well. So students can use any combination of the MimioVote handsets and again, the mobile devices that run the Mimio mobile app. And we are in the process right now of Connecticut mastery tests. So our teachers have utilized the MimioVote quite a bit in our district for pre-made sample CMT test questions, and they use the votes to see how students are doing so they can prep our students for upcoming tests, which we're taking right now. And the Mimio View, all you need to do is just connect this camera to just one USB port on your computer, and you're ready to capture images. You can also display live specimens underneath. You can zoom in to capture images at an angle. There is the camera that has a gooseneck arm and two lights that you can adjust for your specimen or object underneath. With this, you can annotate images. You can turn these into files and save them for future use for other classes. And our final product is the Mimio Capture, which allows you to save whiteboard notes and drawings to your computer as you teach. You can save, edit, and print your whiteboard notes for students anytime in those formats such as PDF, JPEG, and HTML. So I'm going to take this out of Spotlight mode, so now we can look at the entire screen. So these are all of our products, and I'll be happy to demonstrate now to you how these will be used in various classrooms. Our Mimio Connect user group community, this is a free community for you to join. And our teachers utilize this on a consistent basis. Even our expert pro teachers in our district constantly go on here for resources and ideas. They also share the lessons that they create. And for my new teachers just getting started in district that are brand new to our district, they've created accounts and have received all kinds of lesson ideas and examples from other educators that use Mimio products in the classroom. It's a great way to join a community of educators that are really there for a common goal to make effective instruction powerful and engaging and interactive in the classroom. So we are going to start with our science classroom, and I hope everyone is following along just well this morning. And in this classroom, we're going to pull our objective to show that students are going to label each body system. They will pull out the label from the medical bag, and they're going to place it under the correct image. They will then check their answers by clicking on the blue reveal box. These are blue reveal boxes. And again, like I mentioned before, what you are seeing today is utilizing the entire Mimio Studio software. So everything that was created on Mimio Studio software, and again, that's that seamless fit of all the products using the software. And I'm going to show you now that the products that we are displaying in blue, this is what this activity will really lend itself to. What you're seeing in purple could also be some of the additional products that you can use in the classroom. So we're really going to focus right on how this activity is lending itself to the Mimeo projector and obviously the Mimeo Studio software. So for example, our students can pull the object out of the bag, and it's the nervous system. So they're going to have to figure out where this will go. By utilizing the Mimeo projector, 1 or 2 students could be interacting with this content at the same time. The activity can begin as a teacher-directed activity, and then this will allow for students to self-check by giving them immediate feedback with reveals. So once I take a look at this, now I can click underneath to see if we are correct, and then pull out obviously additional items out of the bag and label them in the correct places. So that is our science classroom, and we're going to continue our science classroom to maybe just, this was our beginning introduction to identifying human body systems. But now this is how we can really integrate our mobile apps, our mobile devices. So we have this little collaborate icon. This collaborate icon is now involving multiple students. So instead of having 1 or 2 students come up to the room, now I can then hand out my mobile devices to my classes. My groups of students are now together, and they can do a group activity where how would they identify each system. So they're going to use their mobile device. They're going to write on that mobile device, and they're going to write some of the features that they recognized from each body system. So they could have a partner. They're going to be listing at least 2 identifying features of an assigned body system. And this activity will lend itself really with the Mimeo Studio software and the Mimeo mobile app. Again, students are connecting their mobile devices to Mimeo Studio. Once they connect that mobile device, then I can have my 4 groups and or up to 9 groups student screens can be displayed. As a teacher, I have complete control over these. So right now what you're seeing is a screenshot, but you'll notice that here are my 2 iPads or mobile devices, and I also have 2 Mimeo pads in my classroom. So as I'm doing this, students are writing their notes about their human body systems and what they've noticed. At any point in time, I can then zoom in or just show or display one device, one mobile device. When I do that, all other devices are disabled at that point. So really everything is directed to that one student or one group to display. All the other mobile devices are disabled until the teacher will go back and enable that. Once it's enabled, then all screens are displayed. Really can have quite a bit of conversation, and you can then allow your student groups to do presentations on how well that they felt about, the circulatory system or what they noticed about the skeletal system. And that is Collaborate using the Mimeo mobile device. And again, like I said, multiple devices. You can have up to 9 screens displayed at one time. So now we're going to go into an assessment with our students. And because I can use the Mimeo Votes and Mimeo Mobile, I can really easily leverage the technology in my classroom even more. So I have a voting question that I'm giving to my students. You'll notice that this really lends itself to the Mimeo Teach, the Mimeo Studio, Mimeo Mobile, and the Mimeo Vote. Again, these 2 are really integrated together. So if I only have maybe 24 Mimeo Votes in my classroom and I have 26 students, I have 2 mobile devices that I can then lend out to students. They can be using that to take that assessment. And again, when I'm ready to with the Mimeo Vote system, I can then talk to my students prior to launching the question. So all devices are disabled until I actually launch that question. Prior to that, I can take attendance for my class. Anyone that's missing will be showing up in my Mimeo Studio gradebook so that I can then go back and reassess or assess as need be for students that were absent that particular day. When I'm ready to launch the question, I click on the green button. Students would then have their answers choices displayed on either their mobile device or their Mimeo Vote displays. They will vote once. They can use, again, a combination of both the mobile device or the Mimeo vote. Once I do that, we can then look at the correct answer, and I'm able to pull up my results and see exactly how well students did if I need to reteach, if I need to check and see which students maybe didn't do so well on this. I can easily go into my Mimeo Studio gradebook, pull up my class, look at my students, and know exactly how my students did on this assessment. So I have real-time, immediate feedback, and also my students get to see how well they did as a whole entire class. So we're now going to go into a math class, and we're going to pull our objectives for this one class. The students are going to determine the correct multiplication fact for each array by dragging the correct answer to the appropriate answer box. They will click on the gray reveals to check their answers. Again, this could be a whole class group instruction. You could set this up as smaller groups and have students in group settings. So let's see how this lends itself to the Mimeo Pad, where I could be giving this out to students, and also the Mimeo Studio software. So with the flexibility of the Mimeo products, students can use a combination of both the Mimeo Pad and the Mimeo Teach. So I could have one student demonstrate key concepts of arrays up at the board, while their math group can continue to demonstrate using the Mimeo Pad at their desks. So students could easily click on the ellipse, explain to their class that, yes, this is one group with 4 in them. But we have 6 groups of 4. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 groups of 4. Our students in our class that has the Mimeo Pad can drag this over, click on the reveal to check, and voila, they got the correct answer. So once we do some introduction with this, we can now go ahead and begin a collaborative activity. So how well do we want to see how students can possibly make their own arrays? So students are going to work with their partners in their group, and these are the types of things I used to do when I taught my math class. Students were always in groups working together. So this would lend itself perfectly for students to create their own arrays using their own drawings. They're then going to write their multiplication fact that is correct for their array. So with the Collaborate tool, the individual or student groups can apply what they learned about arrays, and this will lend itself to the Mimeo Pad as a possible way of showing their work, Mimeo Studio, which is what this was created on, and the Mimeo mobile app. So again, launching that, ready for my students to show their different arrays. The teacher can then, once this is displayed, if they're not ready for all of our students to be showing their work, you might want to then go into your reveal. So our screen, the teacher can then hide the screen, and when he or she is ready to, start displaying some of the students' work for future discussion. Again, I can then focus on one device or all of the devices and have students really check each other's work to see if we are correct. So the teacher can individually assess the ability of students to create their own arrays, and obviously they model what they're learning. So I could easily then go ahead and look at this and say, we might want to take a look at this a little bit more. Is this 4 groups of 3, or is this 3 groups of 4? I think I might want to say that this is 3 groups of 4. And have students actually go and count and demonstrate. So that, again, lends itself to a great collaborative activity for students. And teachers can really assess. All of this can then be screen clipped and saved for future. So if we ever need to go back to this, all of our work that students have done have been saved in the gallery, and I can always pull that out for future discussions or for review for upcoming assessment. And now using the Mimeo view with manipulatives, students are going to use those coins to construct an array. They're going to use the Mimeo view and the pen tool, and they're going to write the corresponding multiplication fact. So if you were actually seeing this live, you would see students manipulating these coins underneath the view document camera. This will be displayed full screen on your teacher computer screen, and then students can annotate using the Mimeo tools their answer. So again, this lends itself to the Mimeo Teach, the Mimeo Studio software, and the Mimeo View. Now I have a few things that I can do here, and we use these. We can't keep these out of teachers' classrooms. We use these quite a bit. For this example, the notes can be annotated directly on the screen, and then these examples that students have created can be screen clipped using the screen clipping tool. They can be screen clipped into Mimeo Notebook or any other application where you can paste something from a clipboard. This can be saved for review or reteaching. In addition, there's a recorder feature, and we use this quite a bit. The recorder feature can be utilized to record students as they work live, and then it's played back as an AVI file. So a lot of times our teachers use just this tool for students to do this on their own, and then they go back and they review how well students did using the manipulatives. Again, if you have a headset, students or microphones, students can record their voice as they're explaining that as well. So not only do we use this for math, we use this for retelling stories, or students have actually put their book retelling pictures underneath the Mimeo View. They have then recorded themselves retelling a story, and we have then put that on various websites to share with parents and other teachers for book reviews for the library or a variety of projects. So that is how the View is used in the classroom. And now we're going to go into our assessment. So students are now going to be correctly naming the capitals of various states using Mimeo Studio Collaborate. So again, with this group activity, you have students with various mobile devices and also Mimeo pads. They're going to write the name of each state capital when prompted, and each correct answer would be worth 10 points. This activity will lend itself well to the Mimeo projector, having 2 students up at the board possibly, the Mimeo Studio software, and the Mimeo mobile app. This is what our answers might look like, and then students can do a quick self-check, see how they did with our reveals. And again, all of these wonderful tools are found in our Mimeo Studio gallery. Again, part of the Mimeo Studio notebook software. So students can write the name of the capital when prompted, self-check when needed, and as student screens are displayed on the classroom computer, the teacher can use the screen shade to hide student answers until they're ready to be displayed and discussed. And as we look at class data, we can tell with this particular assessment that students did not do so well on this. So this might need some reteaching. All data would be recorded in the Mimeo gradebook. So once you launch your voting question, as students vote, the Mimeo gradebook is then recording everything that students did. It will also be displaying the question and the correct answer. So if I need to print out assessment results to give to our special ed director or for any kind of informational meetings about students, or if I need to pass that along to parents, all these reports can be shared as PDF or HTML and then can be displayed and given to other teachers or parents for meetings. And all of these results will be displayed in the gradebook until I delete them. So they're always there with the date, the time that this assessment was given. This activity will lend itself to the Mimeo Studio software, Mimeo Mobile, again using either the device of the Mimeo mobile device, using either the mobile application or a Mimeo pad, and also the Mimeo views as well. And as I pull this out, you'll see that the real-time assessment using mobile devices with the app, the vote assessment, or a combination of the both, again, leveraging that technology that you have in your classroom. And these are the various ways that Mimeo devices can be used in a variety of subject areas. And as we move along here, you'll see that Mimeo also has a fantastic reading program. This reading program is for grades pre-K through grade 8. It's tailored to help students learn to read and read to learn, no matter what their level of ability or development are. The Mimeo reading programs help students master comprehension strategies across all subject areas. And the comprehension suite includes group lessons, individualized adaptive instruction for Mimeo Reading and Mimeo Sprout, which is for students struggling below second grade level. It also allows for differentiated small group instruction and allows for research-based whole classroom instruction as well. Mimeo provides some fantastic training and professional development. This is comprehensive training and professional development programs such as On Demand, where you can watch anytime that you want to. Quick Learn sessions that are moderated by a moderator and are able to be recorded and watched back. There's also the Master's Program, which is one thing that I teach, and you can learn all about the Mimeo products, especially if you're someone that trains other teachers within your district. And there's a Certified Program. So it's no-cost on-demand recordings and live webinars. There's also the fee-based training, which is the Master's and Certified, and professional development. There's also the Mimeo Academy, which is on-site, customizable professional development to fit your product needs and your experience level in your district or your school. And you can learn more about this at Mimeo.com. I'm excited to say that our teachers are so fortunate to have all these resources. So if they can't meet with me, they can go home, they can watch these on-demand quick video sessions. They could take a quick learn session if they want to. So Mimeo really tailors this to your professional development needs. So now is our time for questions. I hope you enjoyed seeing how all the various products can be seamlessly integrated throughout a variety of subject areas. And now it's time for me to answer some questions that you might have.
Okay, thank you, Lynn. Thank you very, very much. Great job. So as Lynn mentioned, we will now begin our Q&A session, but don't worry, there's still time to submit questions if you have them. Just enter those right there in that chat window, and we'll get to those. So I'm going to introduce Kristen Ramelais from the Mimeo team, and she will get us started on the questions and answers. Kristen.
Thank you, Travis, and thank you so much, Lynn. We have a few questions that have come in. First question is from Erin, and Erin asks, what is the primary difference between the master's program and the training program?
Okay, I'm just going to go back a page here. So the master's program, and welcome Erin, the master's program is a structured program where you are utilizing something like we're doing right now. We're using Illuminate. We also have a Blackboard class. Participants will complete both a beginner course and an intermediate course. Those last 5 weeks. They meet with a moderator. There is a discussion board and assignments that go on each week. We meet once a week using the Illuminate Live so that teachers can learn about new products, learn about new tools within Mimeo, and then they take an assessment. And the following is the third part of it would be a face-to-face group session where they learn about get hands-on experience with all the various products. So our additional resources and training would be the Quick Learn, which are free moderator-led sessions at various times throughout various weeks. And then there's the on-demand video resources, so you can just watch those at any point in time. And our teachers have actually gotten together and had a little dinner together, brought like a potluck and watched videos on various Mimeo products and then put together lessons and shared those with each other. So I hope I answered your question.
Great, thank you, Lynn. Now we have another question from Anthony, and he's asking, are the training courses available outside the U.S.? Are schools in the Czech Republic?
As far as I know, yes. I mean, I have taught students from Costa Rica. We've had students from Canada. Yes, they are available outside of the U.S. And you can go onto Mimeo.com to find out more about where these courses are taken and also where when our next ones are going to be.
Great, thank you. And then the next question is, what is the difference between the two answer systems? And I do believe they're referring to Mimeo Mobile and Mimeo Vote.
Okay, so the Mimeo Vote, you would have a handheld display, so students would have something in hand. On the Mimeo mobile app, they would have a mobile device. When the teacher would launch the Mimeo Vote question, the Mimeo mobile device, whatever it is that they have, an iPad, Android device, it would display the screen, so students would just click on whatever answer they wanted to, that they felt, or the actual Mimeo Vote student handheld assessment system, students would have that in hand and they would click to vote. So you're really just using, on a mobile device, it's just another way for students to use the voting system, so you really can leverage that technology.
Great, thank you, Lynn. And we have another question that came in. Will Mimeo Studio work with non-Mimeo hardware?
You should be using Mimeo Studio with all Mimeo products. Kristen, if you might want to answer that just a little bit more. It can be used with other products, but we want to make sure that the Studio software is used with our Mimeo products.
Great. So yes, the Mimeo Studio notebook software is actually compatible with other brands, such as Smart and some other technology. Of course, it runs most seamlessly with Mimeo products, but it is compatible with other hardwares as well. All right, and moving on to our next question. Lynn, how hard was it to get your district set up with these products?
That's a great question. It's actually been super easy. Our teachers don't even need me to set up their Mimeo Teach Bars. They're that simple to set up. We don't have to worry about our IT department setting anything up. All of the other products, all of our teachers were trained initially. I also created little web tutorials and little videos so that if they ever needed a refresher, they had those in place. We've had all of our teachers use the products. It doesn't matter if they're a veteran or if they're a new teacher in the classroom. It's been a very simple process. The products all seamlessly work together, so we don't really have any issues worrying about, okay, this software doesn't work or it doesn't work with this product. Everything works together. Our teachers find it very easy, and that is one reason why we chose Mimeo in our district, because of the ease of use and how quickly it is to set something up and teachers are ready to go.
Great, thank you, Lynn. We have a question about the Mimeo Vote system. P. Nelson wants to know if the students are assigned particular remotes so that he can get individualized data or just classroom sets of data.
Can you repeat that question? I'm sorry.
Of course. The question is, with the Mimeo Vote, are the students assigned particular remotes so that they can get individualized data or just classroom sets of data?
Okay, excellent question. So as a teacher, I am going to be setting up my classroom in the Mimeo Studio gradebook. Once I set my students up in that class, they are then assigned to one particular numbered handset. If they use the mobile app, it will display their name on it. So everyone is assigned to a particular handset. Once they're assigned to that, teachers would then launch the question. It would be then displayed in the gradebook after they've answered that question. If it is a self-paced test where students might have a test in hand and they're using the handheld devices, as they're taking the test, they can go back, change the answer to a question using the arrows on the handheld device. Once they submit their entire assessment and they've answered all of the questions, it will actually give them a score in the window of how well they did. And again, that is for the self-paced. For a live presentation where teachers are asking a question, the teacher can use the pull tab like I showed you before that showed the results in graph form of how well the whole class did. If a student needs immediate feedback later on, the teacher can always let them know how they did just right there in the grade book. So a lot of flexibility and variety.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lynn. I think we're just about out of time for today, so I'm going to pass back over to Travis.
Thank you, Kristen, and I appreciate everybody joining us today. There are some questions that we didn't exactly get to, so we will see if we can follow up with you afterwards, or for sure, feel free to ask us those questions, and I'm going to provide us an email address that you can shoot those questions to us, and we'll be glad to help you. That should show up there in the chat box now, so please, any questions that we did not get answered, or if other things come to mind post the webinar, please feel free to reach out to us, and we'll be happy to help you. So one reminder here as we close out, to exit this webinar, simply go up to your File menu, click File and Exit, and that will click you out of the webinar. We will be wrapping this up and sending you a recording link here later today. So I'd like to thank you for joining us once again, and I hope you can join us for another one of our many webinars. Our next webinar is set up for this Friday, and it will be done by Sarah Coughlin. So please check out the menu.com/webinars, I believe. Christy might assist me on that email address or that website address.
Yes, that is correct.
And you'll be able to get more information on our upcoming webinar. So thank you for joining us, and have a great day.